How's everybody doing on this Wednesday evening? It's Weather for Weather Geeks time. It's the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video, and we're in the middle of just a gloomy period right now, but we have lots and lots of interesting things to talk about over the next handful of days, including what should be a pretty eventful weekend weather-wise. In the meantime, as expected, pretty low impacts from our liquid precipitation today. This has been falling into air that's right around 32. And we're just a little above freezing as of 7:06 in some of our local, thermometers readings here, 35, 36 even, down towards southern Lawrence County into Beaver County, PA. We're going to keep on rising as we go through the next several hours and into the overnight. So even though our radar algorithm here shows technically freezing rain, most thermometers are reading just a little above freezing. So while there can be a little bit of glaze, certainly found on some colder surfaces, for the most part, the roads should be just fine. Haven't heard of anything problematic on the roads this afternoon and early this evening. These light rain showers will continue to come and go through this evening and into the overnight for tonight. Temperatures, again, continuing to rise. If you look off to our south where our air will be coming from tonight, it's 39 in Morgantown and 45 in Charleston. I doubt we see 45 here, but I could see where officially we reach 40 or 41, maybe even 42 before the night is through. Temperatures will then start to fall off again as we head towards tomorrow morning. We're not dealing with the severe weather aspect of this system. A cold front trails down into the deep south, and we have a pretty good severe weather outbreak ongoing with a few tornado warnings in Mississippi and Alabama. All the counties in red here are under a tornado watch, and actually the severe weather threat will continue to the east later on tonight into tomorrow. So southern Georgia, southeastern Alabama, panhandle of Florida as well. Could see a few heavy gusty storms for Thursday. Back here at home, again, it's kind of a what you see is what you get kind of an evening with those temperatures rising, but rain showers coming and going, wet roads for the overnight, and as many head out the door tomorrow morning. At the last minute, you might see a snowflake or two, but most of the snowflakes tomorrow will actually come later in the day as we head towards afternoon and evening. I'm becoming increasingly convinced that we'll see a couple of, potent snow showers before the afternoon and early evening is through. I could even see where there's a bona fide snow squall somewhere in eastern Ohio and western PA towards dinner time and into the early evening on Thursday. Maybe enough to coat the ground, maybe enough to reduce visibility, something we'll have to be watching out for late in the day on Thursday. Then things will quiet down. After a gusty breeze on Thursday, the wind will start to diminish Thursday night, and high pressure will be almost right overhead Friday morning. This will be a chilly but quiet day as we're kind of in between weather systems on Friday. And unfortunately, this high is only paying us a visit for one day. It's not going to stick around into the weekend. The weekend will be eventful here. Our timing, or our thinking as far as the timing goes, has not really changed with regards to this weekend system since we last talked yesterday. We think there's going to be a thump of snow overnight, late Friday night, and into Saturday morning. If you have plans to travel somewhere around the region, anywhere in eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, whether it's up towards Cleveland or down towards Pittsburgh or anywhere in between, I think the roads could be a little bit tricky for a time Saturday morning, maybe even as early as 4 or 5 in the morning. And then as we get towards lunchtime and into the afternoon, those temperatures will probably rise above freezing as this warm front continues lifting off to the north. And there may be a period Saturday afternoon where it doesn't do a whole lot. Anything that falls from the sky is probably going to be liquid. It's probably going to be rain. And then we'll have a soggy Saturday night. It may rain kind of hard for a time Saturday night and first thing Sunday morning. So as far as the timing goes, again, 2 trouble spots this weekend. I just talked about Saturday morning with liquid, the form of precipitation that will take over for the afternoon and into Saturday night. But notice we have impacts towards the higher end again by Sunday morning. Here's the clock times right here. Sunday morning by about daybreak and heading through at least midday. I could see where we have a steady period of snow. It probably tapers to a scattering of snow showers and flurries as the day wears on. But there's going to be a period where it's just going to keep snowing. It's not going to be intermittent. It's just going to snow. And that's most likely to occur probably before noon on Sunday. So travel concerns, you bet, Saturday morning and again Sunday morning and midday. And after that, the cold and the wind will really start to crank up. It's going to be kind of a nasty afternoon to be out and about on Sunday as those temperatures fall and the wind chills end up in the single digits and teens before the day is through. Now, we haven't put an official forecast snow amount in our official outlooks yet. You're not going to find that yet on the Storm Tracker 21 app. I may do that before the evening is through, or we may wait until tomorrow morning. But here's a look at our computer models right now. Pretty good agreement that the first round of snow adds up to probably on average a couple of inches, maybe a few inches. It's going to be wet, it's going to be goopy kind of snow. The second round, Sunday morning and midday, maybe into parts of the afternoon, probably tries to give us another inch or 2 or 3, with that snow being a little bit lighter, fluffier consistency, not quite as goopy as Saturday morning. But again, our snow is going to come in 2 rounds, and each round may give us a couple of inches. Whatever occurs, whatever accumulates Saturday morning, is going to try to be washed away by the warming temperatures and the rain. And then everything will get frozen again by Sunday as the colder air wraps back in. So we're never going to have 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground at any one point in most of our area. But I could see where we get a couple, it melts, and then we get a couple more by Sunday morning. So little heads up there. We'll put in some official numbers into our forecasts again, either this evening or tomorrow morning as we take another look at the latest model data. It's going to turn cold as we go into next week, that is for sure. The cold front rolls through Sunday. We drop down into the single digits Sunday night and Monday morning as far as the actual air temperature. The wind chill probably drops below 0. We'll have another morning with the wind chills mostly below 0. Tuesday morning, in fact, it stays cold into Wednesday morning. It's going to get, pretty cold as we head towards mid-February. Now, this is disappointing a lot of people, including myself. Our forecast was for a back-and-forth February where the warm days ended up outnumbering the cold days. It's not looking like that's going to work out. And, if you're watching this video, chances are you're weather savvy enough to know it's not just us throwing darts at the dartboard or anything like that. There are reasons for this colder outcome in February, and they range from what's going on in the tropics, in not the Gulf of Mexico or the Caribbean. We're talking about the Indian Ocean tropics. Convection out there influencing the jet stream. It also has to do somewhat with what's going on in the stratosphere high above our heads, the polar vortex being stretched a little bit. And those are kind of intra-seasonal things going on that are hard for weather forecasters to pick up on and really key in on more than a few weeks in advance. La Nina, that's a seasonal thing that we knew was coming, and it's been a factor over the last few months, no doubt. A lot of times February ends up having a warm outcome in La Nina winters, but doesn't look like it's in the cards this winter because those other factors, the convection, the tropical forcing, if you will, in the Indian Ocean, the Western Pacific, forcing the jet stream to do things downstream over North America, and also the stretching of the polar vortex, those things are overriding La Nina and not giving us the typically mild February that we see a lot of times in La Nina winters. So, yeah, it's going to be, not a great forecast for February, and it's going to influence our winter forecast outcome as well. We'll be reviewing that winter forecast and looking ahead to the spring season coming up at the end of February and the start of March. In the meantime, thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks on this Wednesday evening. I'll see you right back here on Thursday for a full update on what to expect with this topsy-turvy weekend coming up.